I've got a delicious upgrade for your Thanksgiving table this year. It is an acorn squash with a mixed grain stuffing. So delicious, and you can prepare everything ahead of time. So it's a snap to bring it to the table. So I've got my pan over high heat, add 1/3 cup olive oil, and to that, 1 onion finely chopped. To that, add 4 cloves of chopped garlic. Okay, and anytime I'm sauteing aromatics, I want to make sure to add a good couple of pinches of salt. This not only helps season everything, also helps break down the vegetables. So give this a stir. You want to cook this until it's nice and tender, about 5 minutes. So while that's cooking, finish chopping up your mushrooms. I started here with 10 ounces of cremini or white button mushrooms and 7 ounces of shiitake mushrooms. And you're just looking for a uniform size, about 1/2-inch pieces or so. There's so many really interesting mushrooms at the market right now. If you wanted to sub in some oyster mushrooms or even portobellos would be really delicious here. Just follow the same weight guideline. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. This smells amazing. You want to make sure your aromatics do not brown. They just want to be nice and golden and translucent. So to that, add spices. These are a really nice blend. I have 1 1/4 teaspoon ground cumin, 1 teaspoon ground coriander. We're just going to sort of toast these in the oil with the onion and garlic. Wow, this smells very nice, very flavorful. To that are mushrooms. So again, I started with 10 ounces of either white button or cremini and 7 ounces of shiitake. But feel free to create your own combination. And with that, add a good pinch of salt and some pepper. So when you're cooking mushrooms, you definitely want to make sure your pan is nice and hot. And what that does is help really quickly sear the mushroom so that the mushroom can get a nice sort of like crisp edge and also release its flavorful juice. I'm a huge fan of mushrooms, not only because the flavor is tremendous, but it's also a really nice vegetarian alternative. It's been about 7 minutes. Everything's looking and smelling great. The mushrooms have softened. Let's add our wheatberries. So I've got 1 1/2 cup of wheatberries, and what I did was I soaked them overnight in the refrigerator. This is really important because wheatberries are pretty tough and they take a little while to cook, so if you can go ahead and soften them a little bit beforehand, it just makes the cooking a little bit more even. So add these guys in and stir them around, give them a toss. What we're wanting to do here is kind of toast the exterior, also coat it with all this delicious flavor in the pan. That looks great. So to that, add 2 cups of vegetable stock, and 1 cup water. Now for another nice hit of spice, add a pinch of saffron threads. So saffron is one of those spices that is water soluble. So to get the most bang for your saffron buck, make sure that you're letting it bloom in a liquid. I love cooking with wheatberries because that is like the essence of wheat. That's the whole kernel. That's what flour is milled from. And because it's the whole kernel and has all the nutrients and all the delicious minerals and fiber, you do have to make sure that it cooks for a good amount of time so you have that nice chewy texture. So now we're up to a boil here. Just reduce the heat to a simmer, cover, and cook this until the wheatberries are nice and chewy, which is going to be about an hour. All right, it's been an hour. My kitchen smells amazing. Wheatberries are nice and tender. Let's add our other whole grain. I have whole millet here. This is 3/4 cup. Just sprinkle it on top. I love millet because it has a really nice sort of mild flavor, but the chew is what you're going to really love here. It's like a little burst of whole grain. And it's so much smaller than the wheatberries, so you have a nice sort of textural contrast from each whole grain entry. Add about 1/2 cup of water. This guy looks good. So just cover it, let it simmer for about 30 minutes until the millet is tender. All right, it's been 30 minutes. Let's take a look, see what's going on. Oh, So beautiful. All right, so let's check this for doneness. Oh man, that's good. The wheatberries are nice and chewy. The millet is tender. Perfect. So to this, let's add some really flavorful add-ins. I have 1 cup of golden raisins that I just really roughly chopped. The reason I like to roughly chop the raisins is that it just sort of incorporates better into the stuffing, and that way you get a little bite of raisin with every forkful. So I'm gonna turn the heat off now. To that, 1 cup of chopped parsley. This just adds a really nice, fresh sort of energy. And then we need acid, right? 1 lemon, finely grated. So I like to use a combination of the zest, which adds a nice sort of floral essential oil, and the juice. The juice just adds brightness. All right. So 2 tablespoons of juice, which is usually about 1 lemon. 1, 2. Now, same thing for an orange. If you happen to see blood oranges, that's great, extra credit. Otherwise, just use a navel orange. And I usually do about half of a navel orange here. The orange and the lemon together are such a nice floral combination. So this just kind of brightens everything. Then we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of fresh orange juice. So for a large navel orange like this, that's about 1/4 wedge. So season with more black pepper. All right, this looks great. Let's just check for seasoning again. This tastes great. Just set it off to the side while we get the squash roasted. To prepare the squash, just slice 4 small acorn squash. You just cut them in half lengthwise. Scoop out the seeds. We've got great recipes for what to do with extra squash seeds. Just check out marthastewart.com. All done. All right, so to season these, make a really simple spice blend. It's just 1½ teaspoons kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon ground coriander. If you remember, those are the spices that went in the stuffing, so nice complementary flavor for the roasted squash. Just give this a stir, and then evenly season the cut side and the inside cavity of each squash. Ooh, this smells so good. So I love using acorn squash here, not only because it has a really nice creamy texture, but you get a nice hit of beta carotene, dietary fiber. Everything's nice and coated. I just have a sheet pan here, and what I did was I rubbed this generously with a little bit of olive oil. And the olive oil is gonna help create a nice, crisp, golden sear on the cut side of the squash. And then roast these in a 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes or until they're tender. So it's been 20 minutes, my squash are nice and tender. Let's get stuffing. The moment we've all been waiting for, right? So you just want to add the stuffing to the cavity until it's mounded slightly, about like so. So this stuffing is something that only improves in flavor over time. So if you're making this for Thanksgiving, I would get the stuffing prepared, say, on a Monday. But wait, there's more. Then on, say, Wednesday, you roast your squash, assemble the stuffing, tuck this into the refrigerator covered, and then all you have to do is throw it in the oven for about 15 minutes on Thanksgiving. How easy is that? If you want more time-saving, healthy cooking tips, make sure you like this video and click subscribe. All right, everything's mounded, assembled, let's bake. So I have a parchment-lined piece of foil. You simply cover this. So back into a 425-degree oven until everything's nice and heated through, about 15 minutes. So exciting. The squash are out. So beautiful, I might add. Let's give this a try. Yum, yum. All right, so for serving, I made this really quick, delicious pomegranate relish. All this are the seeds of 1 to 2 pomegranates, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of olive oil, some chopped cilantro or parsley, whichever you prefer, and salt and pepper. It's so tasty. This is probably gonna replace my cranberry relish on the Thanksgiving table this year. Really tart and fresh. Just kind of wakes up all the flavors in this really rich, earthy stuffing. Some slivered toasted almonds, little hit of crunch, Yum. And then some more chopped parsley, just for a bit more freshness. Oh, this is so beautiful. Let's give it a try here. I want to make sure I have all the bits here. This is super delicious, so vibrant. Can't wait for you to try this wholesome side or main course this Thanksgiving.